Well, here we are. Episode 47, Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. If you are new to my world, I just want to say welcome. Every single week, I do a solo episode, and then we do a guest episode every week. And this movement of energy of light that we're moving through the ethers and into the collective lights up my heart center every single day that I get to do this work. And today's message comes in hot. It came and sprung off of Gene Keys number 7, which is an email that I just received, the energy that we're working within for a few days here. And whenever you hear this podcast, it's exactly perfect for you. But we're talking about hierarchy, and we're talking about force energy, and we're talking about being all in to our sovereignty and our intuitive pathways and really owning this in our life, not conforming to what other people say that we need to be, and really fucking taking back our power here. And I dive into a couple different examples. We step into the space of really having this real talk conversation. I share a lot of vulnerable things that are happening in my world at this present moment of time, because I really want you guys to feel this aspect. I am here to serve in an energy of vulnerability and rawness and realness, and that is part of my mission. And I want you to know me. I want you to feel me. And if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, like, I'm sharing all the stories that I can get out and going down memory lane with you guys, which is even cooler for me because I've forgotten about some stuff. And, I was out for dinner last night with some friends, and even last night we went down memory lane. And I'm like, I actually really love to look at Colleen in the past, and what did I learn from her, and what did she move through, and how did I actually move through this? And we go into the hierarchy of the world systems in this podcast, and we talk about the distortion and the elitists and how it's showing up in the world right now, and how we can take our sovereignty back through small actions of change. And I walk through some of this dynamic in this podcast and just really holding space for that. So I love you guys, and I love this mission in the collective, and I love that I get to do this work. And so I'm just going to ask you in advance, if you feel called, share this podcast with a friend, take a photo of it while you're listening to it, and tag me on Instagram and help us get the word out. This podcast only gets seen because of this help. If you feel it and love it, give us a review. It'll help us climb the charts. It'll help us get more exposure. We're at episode 47. And I can't even believe that we've gotten all the way over here this part of this year. And I'm just so grateful for all the dynamics of this movement within the collective, this movement within things, this movement on earth. And it's just so juicy. And I just want to gift this out into the world for all of us to feel and hear. And your gift back in this exchange is to help us spread the word. And I love you guys. I love this conversation I'm having with you today in this solo episode. So no further ado, episode 47, Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. All right, guys, let's dive right into this conversation today, because I'm about to maybe ruffle a little bit of feathers. And I'm doing this from a place of expansion and evolution and love, because I can remember times in my life that not very many, I'm going to say, because I was always a rebellion, like leading a revolution in energy that I didn't even know that I was leading at the time. Like, I had no conscious awareness to the mechanisms I wasn't playing into, the rules in my life that didn't make sense, the things you needed to follow, like even the practices at school. There was part of me as a kid that was like, this doesn't even make any sense. So there have been, though, times in my life where I kept my mouth shut, where I followed the infrastructure, even though it didn't make any fucking sense. But today I really want to blow apart the word of hierarchy and the word of force in the energy field, and how us as a society have been playing into these mechanisms for hundreds of years, thousands of years, in the space of time, and about how this is actually a shadow energy that we're working within. And our whole world has been built on this. The infrastructure of Earth, now in the past, wasn't. Okay. So when Earth was created, it wasn't created in a hierarchy of like, I rule and you follow my ruling. It was created in an evolution of connection and freedom and liberation. And if we think back in like spiritual evolution to mystic schools and to what they used to call heaven on earth, it was embodied in, like, we were embodied in this human form, living in an experience of light, of telepathic communication, of acceleration of gifts, of taking what we knew to be true in the spiritual form out in space, the way we used to live in other dimensions on other planets, and incarnating it back into this field of awareness. Now, this is sometimes hard for some of you guys that are very pragmatic in the world. You tune into this podcast, you come online here with me, and you learn about some spiritual stuff. You know, I've talked about past lives, I've talked about collapsing time, I've talked about all these things. And today's conversation is really about the force of the hierarchy in the world. And why this was sprung on was because, as you guys know, and I've been saying this, and you will see in a couple weeks with the episode dropping with Kayla, who talks about the gene keys. Like, we kind of move through that. I've been in this gene key deliciousness. So every single week, Richard Rudd, who created and downloaded the gene key, sends out an email, and I go into study form for this email. I desire to learn more about the gene keys. She goes through my profile in that episode, which is actually really fucking cool. And you'll see the alignment that I play within in my natural world just by intuitively flowing through who I am, that I'm actually aligned in my gene keys, which is actually really fun. But gene key 7 was a gene key for study over the last day. I think it came out yesterday. And this shadow is literally hierarchy. And I was going to step in to speak to what dropped in this morning about being all in your life. And this actually ties everything all together inside of this space of us as humanity have been programmed to follow what society tells us, to follow these politicians, the governmental leaders, to follow the systems of infrastructure, the healthcare system, the police system, the RCMP, and all these dynamics. And they are in our world for certain reasons to expose some crises happening in the world that have been created and manifested for conformity and also for duality, meaning they are here in this world for us to see duality. If you think about it, if we didn't have murderers, rapists, like people who stole stuff from other people, we wouldn't need the police system, right? So it accents literally the dynamic. If we didn't have all these things, we wouldn't need lawyers. And that whole infrastructure as well is based in hierarchy. Our whole 3D system of Earth is based in hierarchy, is based in this fundamental system. We create rules and you follow the rules, and then you're a good citizen living here on Earth in your little lemming outfit, and you walk in your lineup and you do the things we tell you to do because that's what we say. When we look at the whole aspect of spirituality, and the whole aspect of spirituality is your sovereign freedom. You as a light being have a freedom energy inside of you that is yours. It's yours. It's your imprint. It's your vibrational alignment. It's you in divinity as you birthed into this world without all the matrix energy on the other side, bringing in this gift of energy to the world. And if you are aligned in this podcast whatsoever, in any way, shape, or form at all, you have been called forward to shine your light. If you work with me in capacity of masterclasses, programs, one-to-one, even more so, right? And my job, this is my mission, is to light lights. So if I am this light being, and I know that to be true, and I have this mission on earth to light lights, do I light up lights playing by the rules of the conformity in the world and following the infrastructure of the dynamics that don't make sense? No. However, I am in the earth experience and I am required by certain limitations to honor certain things. I need to pay my taxes, right? Or else I could come get all my stuff that I don't even own anymore in Canada. Come take my shit. What do you want? Do you want my storage container full of my tax information? You can have that, I don't know about the pink boots and one of the other ones, so I may have to fight you for those, or I may have to go back and just grab them, and all my leather jackets. And what I do with them here in Costa Rica is a whole fucking other ball game. Oh, I should have had my girlfriend bring back my fucking leather jacket for my trip to Salt Lake City. It's okay. As I think about this in my infrastructure, this is Colleen, random thoughts, right? But there is some things that play out, you know, having a driver's license, needing passports for us to travel in the world. Like there is some stuff, but right now we're watching these elitists really crack down on these infrastructures that they're trying to control us. Digital currency, you know, digital IDs, this whole like vaccination dynamic that went through the fucking world with the pandemic, right? And all of these dynamics that are moving through control, because what's been happening in the world is people are getting sovereignty. They're understanding it. They're creating it. The intuitive flow is fucking being cracked wide open. Our third eyes, for those of us doing the work, are so fucking open right now that we can see, feel, and hear all of the stuff. We can travel and astral travel to other dimensions easily. We can drop in and bring Jesus or Yeshua's higher self into our bodies to get answers. Like I'm channeling Mary of Nazareth next week before she actually had baby Jesus, and was it like literally like before he was even in her body. And I'm channeling her for information on soul's mission and stepping into our pathway with that certainty and trusting the flow of process. Guys, we have access to all the ancient wisdom. Thoth, the Emerald Tablets, the books we're reading now of the infrastructure. I have a book coming from Canada tomorrow, like about the lost lands, you know, like we have availability to tap into this information in real time right now. For those of us that are doing the work, that check our energy, that are in clarity of light, like we're accelerating stuff. I am expanding my angel wings out from my back right now, and my fucking middle back is hurting. Like I am trying to stretch it, but I'm also opening up the heart center to hold this. This is what's happening in the earth right now. And the people in control do not want this to happen. They want us to be in their care so that they can tell us what to eat, what to do, how to show up. This whole fucking vegan, non-based plant or non-based meat plant fucking meat that's out there right now is so like bad for the body. All the ingredients in it, all the stuff that's coming into the body is so fucking bad, and they're pushing it into our bodies because they want our bodies to be processed, to be dark. When we eat from the earth and we eat in the purity of a light, our light bodies accelerate. Our physical forms can be stronger, can lift more, can release any type of pain and any type of inflammation in the body. All of that goes when we are in the purity of our light, but they don't want that. They want us in this infrastructure of disease. They want us in the infrastructure of calcifying the third eye so we can't feel our intuition. We can't hold it. Distortion is a real fucking thing right now, floating in the ethers. And a lot of you guys are pushing up against it right now, meaning you either are doing the work and you're moving through it, or you're seeing where it's happening in your world consistently all the time. And some of you guys are fucking running from this. You're running from it, or you're fucking believing in the doubt, and you're believing in the shadow, and you're believing in it because we've been so conditioned to do this. The whole earth was set up like over the last, oh my God, like even if we think about like Henry VIII and like all of these kings that were in like play, and we think about Rome, right? And how they had, and I don't know all of the like the ancient wisdom this way, but like how they had all of the warriors fighting each other in these domes, you know, of energy back then. I don't even know what they called that. The Roman things. I'm sure I learned this in my infrastructure of schooling, but apparently it wasn't important for me to remember, right? And they conditioned us at this time in the infrastructure in the like 500s, the years 500s or the 1400s, and all of this palette of space, you know, when they took out all these witches that were speaking truth, and they killed all these women that were creating herbs to heal the body, they kept knocking all these people out. And it even happened in the time of Jesus. That guy needs to go. He can't be walking around the earth quantum fucking healing people. He needs to go. We're taking him out. The church took him out at the time. The church did. And now they're blaming all these other people, these mercenaries that came in and took Jesus out, the devil was incarnated in them and took him out. No, the church said, fuck that shit. We need that guy gone. They didn't realize that he stayed around. And they didn't realize that he birthed all these kids in the earth. And he didn't realize he imprinted the energy where now the quantum healers from the Mary Magdalene line and the Yeshua line, Jesus' higher self, Yeshua line, are active. And they're waking the fuck up right now in the world. And they're going, dudes, we do not need to play by these rules any longer. We can fucking heal our bodies. We can go into plant medicine ceremonies and use the earth to actually unearth the fucking shit we've been holding on to. We can take these herbs and we can move through this energy and we can somatically move energy in our life. Guys, we can meditate and find out where the fuck we've been holding the pain and pull it out of our bodies. This is the space we're in now, remembering the purity of heaven on earth. What is it like to be a human as a spiritual being in this experience still? And then we can move the human and keep the human experiencing and still learning, but not sacrifice ourselves into the infrastructure of this hierarchy. I want to read you guys something because this is a potent paragraph from the Gene Keys book. In Gene Keys number 7, from the shadow, I had to put my glasses on. So for those of you guys watching on video, I apologize on the ring light aspects of my eyes, but I don't have my contacts in and I'm choosing not to wear them right now. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm taking my glasses off to record, but I need to read this. So here, wherever you recognize another as an authority or guide, the 7th gene key is at play. Now, in the case of the shadow frequency, which is what we're talking about, now, the gift of this gene key is guidance, and then it moves to virtue, which makes sense in our spiritual evolution, right? When we get out of hierarchy, the 3D mechanism of the world, believing in the politicians, believing in the infrastructure of the human, believing all these things, and we start to break free and find other solutions, we now lead in the gift of guidance, following our intuition, following people that are helping us move into this, to then lean into the healed, or what they call the like light or the siddhi of the actual gene key, which is virtue. Will we ever get there as a society? Fuck, probably not. But our goal is, as a human, is how do we keep leaning in to this expansion within ourselves, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So here's what it says. Like attracts like. We know this by physics, right? In other words, someone at a victim level of consciousness will be drawn to someone who further strengthens that same energy frequency. If you are weak, you will magnetize those who reinforce your weakness and even play on it for their own benefit. It can be a huge shock to people when they realize for the first time that they have been playing out this victim consciousness all their lives. An even deeper shock is the discovery that most authority figures in the world today, our doctors, therapists, business advisors, even our spiritual teachers, which is true, are in the business of serving the shadow of division. Most people who are recognized as leaders do not want you to stop being a victim because they unconsciously fear that it will put them out of business. In this way, the leader is as much a victim of the shadow as the follower. And I read this and went, fuck, this makes so much sense. I've talked about this before, about spiritual leaders. And there is some people that I've watched in leadership positions in my world. Consciously, I've been a part of programs of them. I've helped clear energy from them. I've watched them in infrastructures that they're like, I'm the leader. Look at me. I have all the answers. And if you follow me and just do what I say, you will be successful. Fucking bullshit. So you guys will hear me say this often and always. My job is to accelerate your opening of your own connection within you, to get the answers and trust them, and then to step in and fully own your truth and power to be able to lead in this light. I am here as your guide. I'm here to open some shit up. I'm here to fucking dismantle some stuff in your world. And I am here to help you trust yourself. That's my job. I am not the be all end all. I do not want to be the guru in your world that you come to for all of your answers all the time. I don't want to be that. I want you to trust yourself. And we work together in this capacity to go down and heal, to pull the root of things, for you to do the work in that, for you to accelerate it through, for you to keep trusting and moving through this intuitive flow. We do check-ins inside the space and we move it out. And then you step in and breathe and lead in this intuitive flow as you move forward in life. That's the answer. Because all the answers are in us. We are God as God is us. We are one with everything. Everything. Everything has a frequency and everything has an energy, and all the energy are one. Oneness. So us, we are one with these fucked up politicians that are ruling our countries and our worlds right now. It doesn't mean that we have to accept their behavior and diminish ourselves to play in their playgrounds, but we are all one in energy, which means they are triggering us. They are mirrors for us. They are learning abilities that we have to look at them and fucking learn. And they also ignite us. I've never been more sure of something in my whole life. Well, that is not true. Let me rephrase this. I can see so clearly now the mission of all the souls on earth. Now, it doesn't mean that I know all the missions of them all. I'm meaning the placement of the elite, the placement of these politicians, these doctors, this mechanism, this infrastructure, all of it. I look at it and go, they're there for control. They're there for this. They're there for that. They're diminishing. That fucking sentence they just said is fucking reprogramming people. I talked about the Super Bowl energy. Where did I talk about this? On one of my programs. Okay, I talked about on one of my programs. I was like, where the fuck did I talk about this? Was that here? And about this, the halftime show and the hypnotic state that they fucking put everybody in when they went into the halftime show. The millions of people that were drawn to this on purpose. The whole infrastructure is fucking set up for us to be diminished. That's what it is. And some of our even spiritual gurus are in the same boat. They've been paid to step in, to pull humanity forward. I say to everybody, you need to have discernment. What feels aligned? What feels aligned? And sometimes I'm going to trigger the fuck out of you if you are in my world on purpose. Not that I'm sitting here going, how do I trigger the fuck out of them? That's not what it is. But something that's moving through my energetic field and in my energetic body is going to come out and be like, fuck. I'm dealing with my own shit right now, guys. Like, I am being blocked in all these capacities and all these different ways in my life right now. And I'm dropping in to go, okay. How is this working? What is happening in my life? What the fuck does this mean? That's what's moving through my energy fields right now. How do I get shifting through this? And the how is actually the wrong question. What does this mean? Okay. What needs to shift is the right one. And maybe it's just me surrendering even more, which is crazy, right? Because you think I freaking would have mastered this by now. God, no. Right? So there's this hierarchy in the world that's telling you something. This podcast is about busting that open and asking you this question. Does it serve you? And is it your truth? In the hierarchy, and even in some of you guys that are in careers, some of that hierarchy doesn't serve you. Some of you have been called to entrepreneurship and you're fucking not stepping into the space of. And it's time for you to start to move through that, to start to own some shit back so that you can be in your power and actually fucking hold your truth. But you've been procrastinating. You've been sort of dealing with it. You've been kind of in. I was out for breakfast this morning with my girlfriend and I said, fuck. She's like, what the hell's going on with you? I'm like, I just really want my clients to start to take action in the things that I know that they can, and I can't help them there. And I can encourage them all that I want, and I can help them like see it, and I can breathe it into them, but I can't make them move. I can't. It's not my job. They need to step in and take ownership. And I watch it. I'm like, oh, there goes that one. That one's going down the road. And I'm like, fuck, and like part of me is like, shit, if they would only just move here and believe in themselves a little bit more and fucking tear some shit up, they could get to there. Right? But not all of us are built this way. We play in this hierarchy of this fucking information that floats through our field and we start to believe it. All of you guys have been believing a certain fucking story for so long. And I just want to breathe into you that what if the story is different? What if the actual truth of the story is completely the opposite of what you think is possible in your life? And what if you can be free standing up on a mountain every single day of the week? And you get to breathe in that mountain air and fucking open up your arms and spread your wings and send love into the world. And you can have this desired relationship that you want. And you can feel love within yourself every day. And every day you can wake up in the fucking jungle to toucans calling you out to wake up and have coffee that was just roasted a day ago from a fucking plantation that's been producing coffee for hundreds of years in this community ran by the family that still started it. What if you can go and sweat your ass off at the gym and now realize that your sweat smells so bad that you need to actually contain your workout clothes? This is my life, by the way. I'm telling you guys all of this. What if you can open up your windows and drive right beside that ocean, and every single day you fucking smell the salt and you smell the purity of this connection to this earth? There's next week, whenever you guys listen to this is totally cool, but next week there's a goddess embodiment practice happening live here in Uvita at the yoga studio that is available for us. And I sent it to my girlfriend and she's like, fuck, I can't go. And I'm like, I'm going to go just have this somatic experience. I'm going to move my client meeting to the next day, and I'm going to go fucking drop into this and be here in this space and be in this energy and fucking be in the jungle embodying goddess energy for the new moon and womb activations. What that means, I don't know. But I'm going to go. I'm going to drop in because I'm choosing every single day to step in. And even when shit's hitting the fan in my life, and even when I'm being fucking blocked, and even when I'm right up against the wall in my own journey, I'm still saying, fuck the infrastructure of force and fuck the hierarchy. And I don't believe in that system. I am going to move through this and I'm going to win. And I'm going to be fucking all in. And I wanted to speak to this all in energy. I think one of the hardest parts for us as humans is fucking giving it our all and being all in to our growth, all into the movement, all into the things we cannot see because there's no tactile tangibility there. And I talk about this often about trusting and surrendering into the space of this, but this is one of those things, like, even when the money's not showing up, and even when you can't access your fucking funds, and even when your body hurts, and even when, that relationship's falling apart, and even when you are fucking scared as fuck, you still step in and are all in your life, in your world, in how you show up. My body fucking hurts, guys. Like, I've been working out like a fucking crazy person for the last 6 goddamn weeks, 7 days a week. 6 days are muscle, 1 day is yoga. And then I try to integrate another yoga class. And now I'm doing this running challenge and like all these things inside of the space. Okay, it's growing. I'm supposed to do back tomorrow. My back fucking hurts from Thursday's workout and from my back shoulders. When I did my like back deltoid, I feel it. And part of me is like, shit. The other part of me is like, you're going anyways, and you're going to lift whatever you can lift tomorrow. It doesn't matter. You're going because you said you were all in. And it was like, I need to increase my protein right now. My body needs more protein. So guess what I did on Saturday? I went to the butcher. He's like, I have 1 kilogram left of grass-fed beef. He's like, but it's 30% fat. And I'm like, fucking right. So I want that because I actually desire to bring in more fat, good fat into my body. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. And some of you guys may be opposed to that, but that's okay. But I was like, I need to get some meatballs in my fridge so that I can like pick up a meatball and eat protein randomly, because I can do that with fruit, but the protein I eat is cooked, except for one protein shake I have a day, which I actually make it into like a mocha, bougie that way. But it's like, I need to be able to step in and be all in. So how do you be all in when you are committed to this infrastructure in your body? You got to fucking set it up for yourself. You got to set it up. I can't get up in the morning and be all fucking lazy about the things in my world. I've got to be in it. I'm committed to the meditation, to the quiet time, to the reading, to the studying, to creating content, to moving it through, to communicating, and I'm like, I'm conscious. I need to create more momentum here. I know I do. because my next level is over the other side of this. I feel it. I know it is. And I'm like, I battle, guys, every day, from the conformity infrastructure, the shit that's been holding me back, to the level I'm desiring to play at. Every day, I'm in a mental fuckness with my own self. Every day. Guys, every day. I'm not immune to this. I have coaches and programs and master class. I'm fucking in all the things too. Like, I am, because I'm all in. I'm like, if I desire this life, I need to be all into this. I need to be in this infrastructure of fucking all in. I do not know what I'm capable of. And some of you guys are playing so small in your mindset that you're fucking scared about making a move there. Trust yourself. What is it going to take for you to dismantle this hierarchy of power in your world that's been controlling you your whole life and keeping you in that fucking box playing small? What needs to shift? Right? I got a pretty dominant conversation to have with the bank tomorrow, because I can't access my fucking money right now, which creates a whole other, like, I can't go into the branch. I've got to fucking fly back to Canada. It creates a whole other different infrastructure, right? So imagine this moving through your field. How do you deal with this? If you are all in for Costa Rica expansion, you know what it does for you. The government in Canada is fucking with you right now. How do you show up and play? How? The question I have for you. Some of us are thinking way too fucking linear and way too fucking small. And you've forgotten about that divine beat, the light warrior in you. I can't wait. Later on this month, I'm teaching a masterclass called The Way of the Spiritual Warrior. And it's fucking legit gonna blow some minds. I'm gonna throw the link. I haven't created a landing page for it yet, but I'm gonna I'll throw a payment link in the show notes here. You guys can take action on that if you desire it. It'll be $44. And depending on when you listen to this, it's going up to $222. So if you listen to this in 6 months' time, the replay will be available if you feel called to that. But like, it's go time, guys. It's time to dismantle this hierarchy in our world that is keeping us small. It's time for us to really look at, where are we playing within force in our life and forcing ourselves to do things and forcing ourselves to conform and forcing ourselves to sacrifice. If that doesn't feel juicy when you make a sacrifice in your life, it is not fucking aligned. And I want you to feel this and hear this right now coming from me. Most of us are playing mediocrity. And I love a good mediocrity game. Come on. You know, we can't always be on, and that's not what I'm saying. But some of you guys are fucking half-assing in your life. I have a group that I'm a part of that's a group coaching program. I am not the coach. I am a participant. And I've been watching through some of the trainings that some of these people are literally so stuck in their victim that I put out a post the other day and said, look, if you are willing to take action and you are willing to literally step in and be fucking all in with me, I will do a quick half an hour call with you to see if I can align some cash flow in your world to get you fucking stuck and out of this space. And I will give you the action items that you get to take action on. And I had 4 people take me up on it. The message was, send me a message. Some people commented, I'm all in. So I wrote back, and I purposely did this, send me a message. Because I want them to actually take an action and move into an accountability that they desire to move this through their world. I am not chasing anyone. 3 people right now are in my calendar this week. And I'm like, I'm going to be all in and fucking go. And I want them to feel this potency. And one of them maybe could turn into a client. I don't know. That's not the objective of what this is. My objective is to abolish this victim mentality that we've been conditioned to think that we have to stay fucking conformed when we can move through this. Guys, for those that don't know, like, I have a ton of entrepreneurial experience. I've been a business coach for 14 years. Franchise companies, helped over 220 businesses start up, like growth strategies, help people get $1 million businesses. Like, I fucking am the bomb. And I'm going to say that out loud to this infrastructure. I don't do this work anymore the way I used to, on purpose, because my soul light is calling about acceleration of light, amplification, and activation. And I want to do that every single day of the week. But can I step into this to help some people? Yeah, I will. And I want to serve the community this way. And I want and desire to move through this collective. What's the gain for me at the end of this? My ego wants some credit for sure. But my soul's like, there's just people that need some support and help to get out of this. And you're going to give it to them like it is, because I will. And I'm going to show up in my purity of light. I'm not going to show up with this like energy of like lollygagging and waffling or all of that. I'm going to fucking come in batting. And I'm going to come out of the gate fucking tearing some shit up. Because some of these guys need to know it. One of these people coming on has a super successful business and they're just fucking all over the place because they can't figure out how to put it together. They've never been entrepreneurs. They started a business and it fucking took off. They need help creating an infrastructure, which I can do. So like, if you get out of your own way and you start to lean in and you start to follow the call and you start trusting the space that we're playing within, shit will change in your life. But if you live in the fear and you keep looking back and you keep going, what if, and you keep going, but they might change, or you keep like saying, my job isn't too bad. Guys, you cannot align fully in your light playing half in. And you will never know what life really is about until you do that and find your pure light connection within you. And own that truth and dismantle yourself from all the fucking bullshit someone says that you need to be, and you can fully embody you. And then you can start to lean into the infrastructures you believe in, and then you can start to play the game a little bit differently, right? Now we have awareness. Now it gets fun. So how do you find the loopholes in the game, which is even funner for me, especially somebody who lives and thrives in solving solutions in the fastest way possible, but also too like fucking with people sometimes. I like that, actually. For those of you guys on the video, you saw my smile. For those of you that didn't, I'm smiling big time. And I don't want to fuck with people in negative ways. I'm just meaning in the way that they think, right? Because some of us have been playing. So I'm like, really? Do you think that that's the truth? Have you ever considered this and actually thought about it in your space? And some people will never be open to that conversation, but others, we get to play, you know? So I just want to lean that into your awareness and lean that into your field right now for you to consider and take action on, and for you to really feel within yourself of where the infrastructures you're still conforming to. And not to say that you need to go out and rebel and fucking burn down the White House. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying in your own mechanism in life, a lot of us have been conditioned and we're still playing in this field. All of us are in some way, shape, or form. So it's time for us to bust it open, for us to lean it in. And just in case the CIA is listening to this podcast, I'm not saying I'm going to go burn down the White House. Okay. Just making sure. I say that out loud. I'm hidden in the jungle right now and I'm staying here. Okay. Until I get to Salt Lake City. All right. I love you guys. Seriously. I love you guys so much. And I just want to say this out loud into the ethers. Anything is possible. And let's go start to play in that instead of the other boxes that we've been playing in. I'll see you guys on the next episode.